Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Priscilla Meza. Well, it was a hot one across the state today, and with the weekend now here, a lot of people are looking ahead to their outdoor plans. So what can we expect over the next couple of days? Let's check in with Fox 61's meteorologist Sam Sampieri for a look at the forecast.
Well, hi, Priscilla. I think the weekend is going to feature a lot of people outdoors, of course, with all kinds of activities, maybe by their backyard pool, a community pool, lake, or the beaches, or maybe just sitting in the backyard taking it easy because it's going to get very warm and humid. We are on the weather impact alert for a couple of strong storms tomorrow evening after about 6, 7 o'clock. So the good news is you can get your daytime activities in, and Sunday a little bit better. Decreasing humidity, maybe an isolated shower. Right now we're mild and turning muggier now. We're in the upper 60s to lower 70s. You can see dew points have popped up to near 60 in a few spots. Not much in the way of wind. A few clouds rolling down that northwest flow. It's part of the reason why we haven't had a lot of humidity with this little warm outbreak the last couple of days. This is one front, but the main front is up here, getting into the Great Lakes. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, even a little tornado warning up there. Well up there in Wisconsin. We're not going to get that, but certainly we're going to keep an eye on things tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening for you. So overnight, we'll call it partly cloudy skies, and overnight lows will bottom out in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Your pool forecast, not bad, but I'm going to tell you, when you get to 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow, especially actually 6, 7 o'clock, keep your eye to the sky. Red alert there means you hear some thunder, get out of that pool quickly. Here's the high temperature across the area. Highs into the upper 80s to near 90 down in Connecticut River Valley. Upper 70s along the shoreline. A bit cooler with a sea breeze picking up out of the south, 5 to 15. Coming up, I'll time out those showers and potential strong storms. We'll talk about Sunday, and we'll talk about the second week of June. Is there any more big warm-ups? Details coming up in a few minutes. Priscilla.
Thank you, Sam. Taftville volunteer firefighters in Norwich were told today to remove their personal belongings from the firehouse. The order came from the state fire marshal and means the firefighters will also be forced to leave the building. Fox 61's Kayla Cade has more on what led to this decision and how people in the community are reacting.
A lot of the people who live here say these volunteers were like a family to them, and they're sad to see them go. There's a new fire crew in Taftville. Norwich Engine 3 is taking over. According to these signs on the fence next to the building, and many people we talked to, like Cara Dwayne, say they don't want them here.
Respect to the paid firefighters, but they don't know the area and the people. Like, we're on a first name basis with the volunteer firefighters.
This building was once home to several Taftville volunteer firefighters.
Majority of those volunteer firefighters are born and raised in Taftville. I called them uncle since I was 2. It means more than just the logistics of a firehouse.
The volunteer firefighters have been serving the community since 1917. That is until they say they received an eviction notice around 10 a.m. on Friday.
Driving by to work this morning, and I saw all the volunteers taking all of their stuff out when they were served their eviction notice, I believe it was, and it was sad to see.
Norwich Fire Chief Sam Wilson says this comes after long-term negotiations to live together in the same firehouse failed.
Can run a combination firehouse for the benefit of the citizens.
He says an agreement has been sent to the Taftville Fire Chief through an attorney. It outlines how the two can operate together and maintain service with the volunteers.
We're going to honor that process, but in the interim, we need to do what's best for the citizens of Norwich.
Taftville Fire took to Facebook and said the agreement was sent to the volunteers' legal counsel with less than 1 hour for them to review it before they were evicted. Norwich Mayor Swarjeet Singh sent us a statement he originally made on March 3rd. He said, quote, "My stance remains the same, and I look forward to seeing a collaborative approach from everyone to improve the reliability of service for all residents of Norwich." The Taftville Fire Company said this decision adds further unnecessary costs to Norwich taxpayers as they work to eliminate volunteers across the city for not agreeing to consolidated command.
It's a sad day in the history of the city of Norwich.
State Representative Doug Dubitsky believes the city should undo their decision.
They should respect the volunteers. Volunteer departments all over the state and all over the country are having problems attracting volunteers, except in Norwich.
Many neighbors are now worried about Norwich Fire's response times compared to Taftville.
They're the first ones to respond. They're here before ambulances and other truck companies, so it's...
Chief Wilson says they placed a computer and dispatch system to service the entire community.
We've been working out any bugs or tweaks right now, but everybody's getting used to it, but it's operating flawlessly.
Chief Wilson says they are monitoring the situation and people can always call him or the city manager with any questions or concerns.
We're here to listen, but it's also our job to provide a standard of coverage and care for everyone.
Wilson says volunteers do have the option to stay. They will be working alongside Norwich Fire personnel. In Taftville, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
A New Britain man has been sentenced in the 2021 kidnapping and murder of Jason Combs and Summers. Timothy Lange will serve 43 years in prison after being convicted of kidnapping, felony murder, and tampering with evidence. Prosecutors say Combs was found shot to death inside a car, and investigators linked Lange to the crime through DNA evidence found on the victim's clothing. Hartford police officer Joseph Magnano was formally arraigned today. Magnano is charged in the shooting death of Stevie Jones. Today, questions about police use of force, accountability, and officer support were all on display in Hartford. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules breaks down why today's hearing drew such a large response.
It was a busy day both inside and outside of the courthouse. The Hartford Police Department packed out the courtroom as former officer Joseph Magnano was arraigned. Members of the NAACP and the president of the Hartford Police Union were also in attendance.
The state is not looking for any modifications.
Former Hartford Police Officer Joseph Magnano's court appearance was brief, but his supporters were outside long before and after he entered the courtroom. One of his supporters, Sergeant James Rutkowski, is president of the Hartford Police Union. He says Magnano has their full support.
He believes that what he did was defended himself and the citizens and the other officers.
He also criticized the Inspector General and the warrant in the case.
The law enforcement community here is asking that their proper authorities investigate this warrant, and an ethics committee, judicial ethics committee, reviews that warrant also.
Magnano was charged with manslaughter in the first degree after the Inspector General ruled he was not justified in the shooting death of 55-year-old Stevie Jones. In February, police were called to Blue Hills Avenue after Jones's sister reported Jones was having a mental health crisis. He had cut himself and already had a knife in his hand. When officers arrived, body cam footage shows he walked onto the sidewalk where he began walking towards the officers. Jones was asked by the responding officers to drop the knife several times as they attempted to calm Jones down. According to the Inspector General report, Magnano arrived on scene 5 minutes after the first officer's arrival. He shouted for Jones to drop the knife before firing 9 shots at Jones. He died from his injuries days later. Hartford Mayor Arunan Arlampalam fired Magnano in late March. The Hartford Police Union later filed a grievance against the city for wrongful termination. Some of those officers filled the seats in the courtroom during Magnano's hearing. Evelise Correa Brown, a member of Black Lives Matter 860, says the sight was disappointing.
Hartford police jammed the seats in the courtroom, and it was as if they were trying to block out supporters that came in for Stevie Jones.
Corey Betts, the Hartford NAACP president, says they just want the former officer to be held accountable for his actions.
Today is about accountability, truth, and the value of Stevie Jones and other humans in our city.
Magnano is free on a $50,000 bond. He is expected back in court on July 21st. In Hartford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Hartford police are investigating a shooting this afternoon that sent a woman to the hospital. Investigators say she was shot once near Park Street at Park Terrace, and officers met her at the hospital just after 2:30. At this time, police have not released the extent of her injuries. A former Stratford High School wrestling coach has been arrested for the second time. It comes after a second victim has now come forward accusing Jordan Marin of sexual assault. Police say the woman, who is now 18, was sexually assaulted when she was 15 and a student at the high school. Last month, a 20-year-old woman reported a similar incident. Marin is in jail tonight on a $200,000 bond. Norwalk police are asking for the public's help identifying this vehicle involved in a serious hit and run. Investigators say a pedestrian suffered life-threatening injuries after being struck near the intersection of Main Street and Plymouth Avenue Tuesday night. Police say the driver fled the scene without stopping. Investigators believe the vehicle is a blue Subaru Forester model years 2009 through 2013, with damage to the front passenger side and a missing passenger side mirror. Anyone with information is asked to contact Norwalk Police. A delivery driver is in critical condition tonight after he was hit by his own car. It happened around 8 this morning in Naugatuck in the area of Andrew Avenue and Manners Avenue. Police say the 44-year-old man was hit after he got out of his car. Tonight, he is in the hospital in critical but stable condition. A Texas truck driver is facing charges in a deadly I-95 crash in Westbrook last September. State police say Dwayne Garrison was adjusting his sun visor when his tractor-trailer struck a barrier and the Route 145 overpass. Debris from the crash hit several vehicles, killing one driver. Garrison is charged with negligent homicide and failure to maintain a lane. A Fairfield woman accused of setting fire to her own home appeared in court today. Investigators say Mikhail Ross intentionally set a fire to a duplex on Castle Avenue before driving away from the scene. Ross is charged with third-degree arson. Authorities say the investigation remains active as they work to determine a motive.